Yeah, that's nice.
What's up, guys? It's RevJ again. Man, last month has been pretty freaking insane. Everything has gone pretty well sideways. If you guys watched my very bad news, or I think it was my bad things happen video about the 66 getting hit by a DUI driver on the first day of the Carcraft Nationals, well, that definitely happened, and I'm kind of sitting on it here. Unfortunately, along with that, a lot of other things fell apart too. A lot of other sort of problems in life, and my daily driver had a bunch of issues, and the ceiling in my bathroom cracked and leaked water. So I'm going to start a new series of videos, starting with this one, rather ambitiously titled Rebuild Everything. Yeah, that's the idea. We want to rebuild absolutely everything. Everything in my life needs to be rebuilt. So we're going to go ahead and do that. And yeah, that sounds like a rather insane idea because it's going to cover probably 2 or 3 vehicle projects, some house project stuff, as well as a lot of other sort of personal shit that I'll have to deal with. And I guess here is as good a place to start as any. So I'm sitting with the Hatredcopter C10 in the garage. I've been going back and forth with insurance. As you guys know, when I put up the thread about trying to get a hold of some of this stuff, there were some questions as to what insurance was going to cover and how my insurance was going to deal with it. And let me talk about that real quick. I do have collector car insurance. Hobbyist insurance. So thankfully we have an agreed value and all that. The truck is not going to be totaled. Let me just tell you guys that right away. The truck will not be totaled, which is amazing news. That means she gets to stay on the road. It doesn't have to get a rebuilt title or anything, which was pretty important to me. However, it means there is an insane amount of work ahead of me. I have an agreement with my insurance company that I'm going to be doing all the work. I'm rebuilding it. They're just paying for it, basically. So where do we start, I guess? Well, these are the steps. Couple chips in them from before, but they did survive. They didn't get too terribly wrecked, so we shouldn't have to replace those. They should be able to just be repainted and we're in okay shape. Let me set that down over here. Grab the other one. Other one has a couple nicks on it. Of course, I'm sure dropping it didn't help, but yeah. A couple little nicks on that one, but it's still in good shape. Didn't get too whacked up during the crash or anything. It's got a couple little scuffs on it, needs to be refinished in a couple areas, but that'll happen with the general refinishing of the bed. So again, both steps saved, which also means that those carbon fiber cutouts, which I made in my carbon fiber exhaust exit video, check that one out if you haven't. I'll put a link up here somewhere for that. So those are good, so I don't have to redo my carbon fiber exits. So 2 things saved, which I'm happy about. However, and it's probably tough for you guys to see kind of behind me here, I'll move the camera in a second. There's the frame section that needs to be replaced, obviously the damage to the fuel cell. So as you guys can obviously tell, the bed is off. I had taken some pictures and a walk around. That's sitting over here on the outside, and I'll show you guys that in a second. But I was able to pull the fuel cell up and out of its little cradle. It was dented in pretty badly. I don't know if this cell is going to be savable. I don't think so. The dents to a couple of the welds and the aluminum's ripped in a couple areas, and I think it's better off just to fully replace it. I'll also switch to an in-tank pump. I've been running a Walbro 255 in line on this thing, which is great, but I think going to an in-tank with the Walbro and a tank that's sumped and designed for fuel injection is just the right way to do it. It'll cost the same as redoing this, however, it'll give me the advantage and a little bit more designed for fuel injection. Again, this tank that's in here was in here since it had a carb 350 in it. So, you know, it was just a basic sump. It didn't have any big baffles or anything. It had some tank foam that was kind of worn out. So in that case, I'm totally down. I'm totally down to replace that, and I'll actually consider that, you know, possibly something we can improve on. So we'll definitely look forward to that. So let's take a look here. You know what? I'll just show you guys how bad this thing is. All right, guys. So here you can see the fuel cell is just kind of sitting out on the cradle area here. It's dented in pretty badly. It's actually hit the track by here, so that will probably have to be replaced. I don't think the bracket bent too bad. A little bit there. That one's okay actually. I think this side is the one. I don't know if I can get in there. Is the one that bent a little bit. Yeah, I can't really see it from where I'm at. Anyway, so here is the fuel cell out of the truck. The return line here survived. Didn't tear that up, so I'll pull off that fitting and save it. My vent line is okay, so I'll pull that off and save it. Sending unit, the wires tore for it. That one's ripped off at the end here. The other ones that was hooked up ripped off. We disconnected that one already. Here you go. You can see pretty good dent. See if focus, you son of a bitch. Come on. There we go. You can see a pretty good dent right in the side. It actually ripped that weld, which I'm probably not close enough to see. It ripped that weld in the middle and dented that. There's a couple little small punctures down here as well. Spin over, and you can see the other end of the wire. Oop. There you can see the other end of that wire that sheared straight off. come around the back here just a little bit. And there's the other, come on, focus. There's the other inside of the cradle there. You can see where the strap, put a strap-shaped dent right in that. And actually put one on the other side here too. So this whole side actually is bowed in a little bit. It's not straight down, so the whole thing was actually kind of dented. And let me slide in here, you can take a look, check this out. Let's see if we can get in there. So there is the feed, and it just simply ripped the fitting straight out of the aluminum. Just ripped it straight across. I could hammer that and re-weld it, but there's so many dents and stuff on that thing, I think it's gonna be better off just to scrap it. Those fittings got a little nicked up. We'll see if we can save those here in a second. I'll see if we can pull those off. The fuel line itself, the rest of the feed line survived okay. I don't see any major damage to it. I'm gonna have to kind of pull it apart and see here. A couple of these fittings are savable. I don't know if the pump is savable or not yet. The shield for it got ripped, the bracket for it got ripped, a bunch of the wiring got damaged. So I don't know if the pump itself is still any good or if it got kind of mangled. It took a little bit of a hit down here, as you guys can see, and I think that just ripped through the shield, but it's hard to tell if the pump took any damage itself. This one, check that out. That's the inlet side of the filter. Actually, it's the outlet side fitting on the pump. So this fitting is actually broken off in that pump. So we might not even be able to get that out. Like I said, we're gonna go to an in-tank 255 anyway. It is what it is. There's the filter. We'll see if that's savable. Probably just replace it because they're not too expensive. And a couple more fittings we'll see if we can salvage. Kind of tore it up that corner of the frame rail is actually ripped right off of there. So come around to this side a little further. This is pretty wild here. There's the other dent, pretty good sized dent in the side of the tank right there. A couple of the welds cracked towards the bottom, which you guys can't really see, but it's chafed all the way in. You come on up, and we're back over here. Again, a couple little dings. This side's actually relatively decent, just pretty dirty. So here's the battery box. Ooh, check that out. Let's see if I can back up here at all a little bit. Here's the battery box. As you can see, held on for the most part, but tried to actually peel itself off on that side. Held up pretty good considering it took a direct impact. My welds in no way, shape, or form were the problem there, but that's gonna have to be replaced. We'll go with a more specifically oriented box design, a sealed box. We'll probably end up putting a battery switch on it and stuff. We'll kind of see where we have room to do what. These are the struts that hold the fuel cell in place. Pulled those off. Those actually look salvageable. Have to hammer the ends straight here a little bit, and we'll see what the new fuel cell, if it's what kind of mounting it's going to use, if it needs to use the old style mounting or if it's going to use a new style mounting that comes with it. Like I said, the track bar there, here's the tweak in the frame. You can see right after the bend, it just comes down. And so the question is going to be, of course, are we going to get this thing straightened and reinforced, or are we actually going to like sort of not really back half it, but pull the rear section of the frame off and tube it or do something with that? It's just the old cross members and stuff. There, unfortunately, is some of the worst part, and that is that dent in the back of the cab. Thankfully, it didn't come all the way out into that seam. So the thought is we'll strip some of this back, we'll put a dent puller on. Actually, we'll probably come from the inside first, which this window's up, and I don't want to open the door right now, so it's tough to see. It pushed it in a little bit. That's actually the dyno matting that's pushed in right there. So I'm not sure if we're gonna have to pull back that second layer. Ideally, we can get in and just start to push it out from the inside and kind of come back. You know, this will be a little tricky. There's a little bit of a dent here to fix, but thankfully the body line coming straight down here is okay. So we're thinking if we come across this way here and start to pull that out and get it flush again, some of this will come into order. There's the worst of it right here, obviously. Some of that will come back into order, and this will just be touching up a body line. I mean, that's a pretty rippled body line right here. So that one I think will be the biggest pain in the ass and also the easiest one to tell, come on, focus, to tell if we don't do right. That doesn't want to focus. Everything else going forward though should be okay. We'll have to reset the doors because they pushed forward a little bit and they're, you know, coming into that, putting a couple little nicks in this. We'll reset the doors. The rest of it though, the fenders look like they're okay. Front tires didn't get wrecked or anything like that, hopefully. So, yep, that's really where we're at right now, guys. Just kind of getting everything starting disassembled and waiting for the insurance check to come in, and I got to figure out, there's a bunch of supplementaries, and collector car insurance is weird. They repair certain of it a certain way, and they'll pay you a labor rate to fix certain things and pay other people a labor rate to fix certain things, and I'm mumbling, but you get the point. So really, guys, this is the beginning of trying to rebuild everything, and this is gonna be the first one here. Is starting to rebuild the Hatred Copter C10. Like I said, there's gonna be a lot more rebuilding. I got some house type stuff that's got to be rebuilt. I've got stuff in my daily driver, the Blazer, which will either be that might be a replace everything. We might just straight up replace that. Otherwise, it'll be a rebuild everything, and that'll be the new series, guys. Here, it'll go from house stuff to car stuff to other car stuff to God knows whatever kind of weird personal stuff I got to deal with. So we will begin to rebuild everything, like I said. So guys, I'm gonna go ahead and start to pull off some of those fuel fittings, see what we can save, and kind of begin it there, guys. Really just wanted to let you know that what we were gonna do, what the plan was, where the rebuild was at, and how we were gonna do it. So like I said, rebuilding the Hatred Copter here, we'll be rebuilding everything along with it. I'll pull these fittings off. Until then, guys, thanks for watching. Check out my carbon fiber video. Check out all the other projects I've done on the C10. Just because it's down for now doesn't mean it's down forever. So, like I said, check out the redoing projects video. I think this is a pretty good time to talk about redoing projects, as I'll have to redo pretty much the whole back half of this, and if I can't make it better, then it's not worth doing. We'll definitely see some improvements and get a chance to do some fun fab work and a bunch of other stuff. I'm running long because I'm kind of rambling and I didn't have a plan for this video. Thanks for watching, guys. Check out everything else. Like, comment, and subscribe. Check out my build. Thanks everyone who supported me since this kind of went sideways, and thanks for those of you that are going to watch the video in the future. That's all for now, guys. Thanks for watching.